average travelers.
Hey, not so average
It's
travelers.
Olivia.
It's Eric.
We are your not so average podcast hosts or
We're
vloggers.
back at it again.
We can try this again. We've been pretty busy the last few weeks. What did you say?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, as it normally is around here.
Yeah, spring's always like a crazy time. Like we want to be back outside because it's finally nice outside here. But then we also that's like all of our travels planned, so we're outside somewhere else instead of at home. And so then when we're at home, we don't want to work. We want to do all the other things then.
Well, it's a good time for travel. There's time for the kids, spring break, things like this. Everyone's tired of being in the cold.
That's true.
I know I was. So, where were we? We were just
So
out and about again. I don't, weren't,
yeah, we did a. My nephew had a Make a Wish trip that he qualified for and that his family signed him up for. So, um, they invited us to go along with them, and oh man,
oh,
we got to
nuts.
go. So we spent 2 days at Disney World, at Walt Disney World in Florida. We did one day at Magic Kingdom and then one day at Hollywood Studios. Then we did 2 days at Universal Studios there in Orlando, and then we did one day in SeaWorld.
It was really interesting because it was all of their first time
Yeah, they
going to the parks, going to Florida in general.
Yeah, they weren't ready for Florida.
Yeah, I think the
We bought
spring
them pool
weather.
towels like on day 2 because they were not prepared for that.
You are not prepared.
It was just it was hot for them. So and to be fair, it was pretty like it got up to be like high 80s, almost 90 with a little bit of humidity. So the love bugs started coming out, which made me laugh.
Yeah, you
So they
had
were
all.
like, "Ew, what is this?"
And they weren't the big love bugs yet. They
No,
were
they were still
still the
small.
small ones. So there's that.
When we go back in a couple weeks, I'm sure that won't be the case.
Oh no, no,
It will not
they're
be
gonna
the
be
case.
full fledged
They'll be actual
love
bugs.
bugs.
They'll be actual bugs. But yeah, a different experience going in through with a Make a Wish family. Learned some things.
Learned a lot about accessibility. Honestly.
Yeah, and Disney for sure right now is like kind of in the hot seat regarding their DAS pass, which is a disability pass that they give those individuals who need it, essentially. But in fact, they're not always given to the people who actually need it, which
So,
is
and it's interesting because we've gone with kids and strollers, and
yeah,
we've gone with my parents that need accessible wheelchairs, but this was a whole different experience with mobility
yeah.
chairs for kids.
Well, the difference was too is that the boys were unfortunate. There's two of them. One of them had the Make a Wish. The other one's still a little young, and he doesn't qualify quite yet for that. But he was not able to transfer as easily, so that kind of limited as far as rides and stuff that he was able to enjoy and be a part of. So the kind of things that I mean, again, we just had to change the direction of how we actually did Disney World this time.
Pivot!
Pivot for
Pivot!
sure. And it wasn't a bad thing. I mean, it gave us a different perspective, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to go, and that we were invited to go with them because it was great. I have to say that I think you'll agree with me on this one too. That like character interactions were
Oh, phenomenal.
like amazing. The characters that for the meet and greets that we had at both parks, they were very patient. We had more time with them. It seemed like where it wasn't rushed through, a quick click click couple pictures and we're out. It was more interaction, which was kind of cool.
I gotta say, my favorite moment was one of the meet and greets, and we were in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
No, we were at Hollywood Studios, but it was at the Star Wars photo location. And one of their favorites is Chewie, and Chewie did go all out.
Chewbacca, for those who don't know who Chewie is.
They know who Chewie is.
I mean,
Everyone knows who Chewie
I
is.
feel like you wouldn't be watching our thing if you didn't, but just throwing that out there.
So to the point where everyone in the room was saying "aw" to when Chewie goes to give the hug or pats him on the back or just a complete interaction, full interaction with
Yeah.
the character.
Came up to meet him and kind of say hello and shake his hand and be excited to see him and welcome him into Chewie's world essentially.
Chewy's World. Chewy's World.
Not quite like that.
Not at all like that.
That was at Sesame Street. But anyway, so that was, I think, between that one and then when they got to meet Sorcerer Mickey also at Hollywood Studios, that one was really funny. Just because the other little boy, like full on, Mickey said hello to him, and he just immediately started to cry, like
Just
meltdown,
lost
just
it.
immediate like what a toddler would normally do. I just met my hero. Like, please get away from me. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. But again, super sweet, and really, again, the interaction time that they were able to receive with the characters was really nice, and I was really happy to see that for them. Again, getting to experience that, and we just ended up going as photographers. You know, we pushed the
And
wheelchairs
another
around
set of
and,
hands, because it was a lot of work to really kind of do it for the whole family and to be there for the kids and the interactions and the rides, because every kid had to have
you had to have an adult.
an
with you.
adult, and there were 4 kids in total. And then the 2 that are handicapped,
Yeah.
special needs, they needed a whole time to themselves. One of the rides that I thought was the most informative to see the loading and unloading process was Toy Story Mania.
That was the only ride that they could ride on in Hollywood Studios in general that was fully accessible, where you could go in your wheelchair. So those of you who are traveling with anybody else, or you yourself, need that assistance. Toy Story Mania is the only one. Any other ride that you would go on, you would have to transfer. This is the only ride in the park that you could stay in your wheelchair, and they had special cars that were designed for that. I say cars. They said that there was multiple. There was one running.
Yeah, there was only one on the track that had
the convertibility.
I want to call it a transforming capability.
It was pretty much a little transformer,
like
for sure.
The seat folded down, the side came out. There's a ramp, and there's a whole thing associated with it.
It was a pretty big process to be able to strap that in there. But again, the boys enjoyed it.
They were locked in though.
They weren't moving nowhere. And the carousel was one in Magic Kingdom that we could go on with them. Like we're sitting on the bench, and then the middle of the bench folds up to be able to move.
Again, full transformation of that ride.
And they're like, you've got to make sure it's locked, and they put a little like chalk type thing for the wheels to make sure that you're not rolling over and that type of thing. But didn't stop us from putting our legs out to be able to make sure, just in case, in case the boys got really excited and we're going with it. Heaven forbid that were to happen. But
yeah.
Universal was interesting in that too. This was our second time going to Universal. First time really trying to do rides, though. We didn't get to do rides a whole lot on our first time because we were only there for just a few hours. And we were there specifically to meet Gabby. The first time we went. So
I feel like this time we were there to meet the Minions.
This time for sure we were there to meet the Minions, but we had 2 full days dedicated to Minions.
And I gotta say, I love Disney. I will always do Disney theme parks. Universal has something going for them right now.
I mean, Epic is pretty much amazeballs. Like, we went into the preview center because we had some time to kill at one point, and that was insane. We didn't qualify this time to go to one of the previews, and quite honestly, we didn't even ask. We probably could have asked. We probably should have asked, but we didn't. But yeah, I'm sure videos and stuff that are now starting to circulate. I mean, it looks ridiculous, and I'm excited to go back and try it out.
Definitely. I think we're targeting for August. I think we should target for August.
He's throwing that out there to guilt me into going in August.
This is actually what is happening.
That's how that works. So, and August is like the worst time to go.
It's the absolute worst.
It's the worst time to go.
The sun beating down. There's not a lot of shade.
Yeah, August is a terrible time to go, but maybe that's the best time to go because they're still going to be in.
I don't think there's going to be a good time to go there. To be completely honest.
Anyway, yeah, we tried to do. I think I went on technically 3 rides. We did like the Minion walk where like you stand there and you do the little pew pew shoots.
Such a great ride.
Pew pew. And you just stand on a conveyor belt and go around and shoot the little targets, and that is definitely a lot of fun. The boys were able to do that in their chairs, so that was nice. And then the other Minion ride that they have there, which is more of a I'm trying to think of the right way to
Is it a
describe it.
coaster?
No, not the coaster. It's a show, but you sit
Oh
in the
yeah,
seats and then they're motion.
it's like
It's like
a
Star Tours,
Star Tours
but on
motion
bike,
sensitive ride. Yeah.
but craziness. And it wasn't. You didn't have to have 3D glasses or anything for it, but it was a very like mobile thing. But we got to sit with. I personally volunteered. In fact, they had me in line to stand, like to sit in one of those moving things. And again, I've talked about this before. I'm very motion prone to like sensitivities. Like I flat out made my brother get out of line and sit with his children because I did not want to throw up on them. And I went and hung out with
I knew what was
with the
happening,
wheelchairs.
and I didn't. What we did find out while we were at Universal is they are not made for big people
No,
at all,
no.
whatsoever. Just about every ride has restriction. I did do some research on that. They're saying if you've got anywhere from a 40 to 44 waistline, you might fit. So anything above a 44, you're kind of at the whim of the ride, which is what I found out while I was there. I am neither one of those, to be completely fair. So yeah,
I'm on the cusp, and I went on the Mummy, and that's the only ride that I went on other than again that's the main big coaster that I went on, and it was fun. Like I couldn't describe it afterwards, other because the little girls, like the sisters that went with us, were not okay. It was too scary for them, and one of them that I was sitting next to was just like, "This is my fault. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "What are you sorry for? Just have fun. Like you're on a roller coaster. You're allowed to scream. Like." But again, the first time for them, first experiences as far as those things go. They were very brave until it came to doing it, and then they were like, "Nope,
I'm out."
but we're already in the middle of the ride, and it's too late, and you're going to enjoy your experience. So you're buckled up. Nothing's gonna happen to you. So yeah. But after that, I was pretty much like, okay, I'm like it wasn't comfortable, but it was okay. Like I had a fanny pack on, and I didn't turn it to start with, and so when I put the lap band down, the cast member came over and was like, "You got to move that. It can't be up front." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm like trying to again. I'm already locked in, so I'm trying to like cinch it to pull, and of course, like my hand sanitizer and all my stuff that's attached, like falling off and jumping all over the place. And I'm trying to catch it, and I'm like, "This is a disaster." Again, just didn't think of because I didn't. We were with the wheelchair accessibility for the Make a Wish, and so I didn't know what the line queue was like. I didn't know any of this. We just went up an elevator, and all of a sudden we were there, and they were like, "Here, sit down," and we're like, "Oh, well, this was sweet, but also
We are
I'm
not
not
ready.
ready. I'm not
We are
ready
not
for
ready
this.
for this.
I don't know what I'm doing." It's been a long time since I've had that experience as far as like being in the theme park, not knowing what's happening. I'm like, I don't know.
I was not able to ride that ride.
That was
It did
pretty
not
sad.
lock in. I tried a second row. They say that there's one spot on the back row that is for bigger people that have more leg room. And I probably could have fought
The
the
harm.
latching a little bit more if I adjusted, but at that point I was just done with it. So, and again,
Attempts are made.
attempts were made, but it was kind of an eye-opening experience, to know that if you are going to go, expect some rides that you're not going to be able to go on if you're a little bit larger.
Yeah, and Universal does have, and we missed it on the Mummy ride as far as like you're able to test it and kind of sit down in the spots. We saw it for Hogwarts a couple times as far as like the
Yeah, there was no
space.
chance I was going to get that. I
Like
tried.
that one, they were like, "Here, this is what the ride looks like, and this is what you have to do, and this is where it has to latch." And I think you went and sat it, and you were like, "No."
Because that one latches up here, and then there's a sensor down by your waist that it has to lock into. And there's a little light that goes green if you're good or blue if it's bad. And I don't even know what color it was. I was just
It
like, yeah,
wasn't green.
it wasn't green.
It wasn't green. You knew it wasn't green. So, yeah, so that was, again, a little bit of a different experience for us. And then we went to a park we've never been to before, which was Universal SeaWorld.
And SeaWorld.
You know. That one was kind of a surprise for me. I wasn't thinking I was going to like it. We see all the previews and stuff as we come into MCO. Like, they're always like, "This is our new ride. See the penguins, do this, do that." And we're like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool." And then again, logistics, and then that's not in our plan as far as what we're trying to accomplish when we're in Orlando at the time. Because we're
Yeah.
normally it's pretty like we have a set these are what we're doing on these days. But we had set to do that on that day, and we loved it so much that we actually upgraded our pass while we were there too.
I mean, it was a good deal.
It was a good deal to upgrade our pass to become annual pass holders there at SeaWorld. So hopefully we at least get to, if we go one more time, we've already paid for what we,
Yeah.
what we paid for. So that's the goal. We'll go at least one more time. So, but that was fun.
One of my favorite experiences there was Sesame Street Land.
It was so cute.
It was literally like walking into Sesame Street and brought you back to being a kid,
Yes.
learning your numbers, learning your ABCs, getting freaked out by little monsters. But
so cute. It's very
it was
nostalgic
very
for
cute.
sure. And that's where all the like kiddie rides are for the littles to be able to enjoy themselves. There's a little water park in there too, a little splash pad area, which was very popular. It rained on us that day when we were in SeaWorld, which was actually very delightful. It was like an hour of like mist, and then it like downpoured for 5 minutes, and then misted for a little bit, and then we were done. Typical Orlando day.
Typical Orlando day.
Again, we were ready. We didn't care.
We had to explain that this is normal. This is how it operates here.
Yeah.
I
2 or
would,
3 o'clock in the afternoon, typically.
yeah, I would say going back to the Sesame Street one is I was shocked how much technology was involved with that area. Between the doors and the windows and the whole entertainment for the kids, I was really surprised on some of
There's
the.
interactive things you could do with the different monsters and stuff in the windows, and games and stuff you could play with them essentially, and it was really cute.
I thought it was going to be the same, but then when we circled back again, it was a completely different scene with different monsters in that window, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why people spend so much time here.
And the character meet and greet is inside, except for Big Bird. Big Bird was outside, which we didn't end up standing in line to meet Big Bird, but we got pictures with Big Bird, because how do you not? I mean, they were creepy ones because, like, I was not the one in front, but they were creeper style as we walked by.
She was photobombing other people.
Photobombing other people's Big Bird experiences. But the others, they were all inside, which was really nice. And then, like, it was, maybe 5 or 10 minutes that those characters were out. Pretty much the entire line got through. And then you could jump in line again to get to the next set of characters that would come out. So we got Grover, we got Zoe, we got.
And it's interesting because they did
Zeta,
all of theirs in a
Cookie
green
Monster.
screen too.
Yes, and they were green screen, which was kind of, so don't wear a green shirt to Sesame Land because
you will blend. You'll be like.
You will be a door, or a plant, or something. So that's one of the girls we were with. She was wearing a green shirt, and she got to stand in the front for that reason. So she would not get lost. But it's pretty cute. Their photos and whatnot that came out of that were adorable. So again, busy with those things, and that was just, what is that, 5 days in a theme park, and that was like, we were done.
It was a fast 5 days.
It was a fast 5 days because we'd get up in the morning.
Slow moving in those parks.
Yes, but again, for a reason. But we would get up in the morning, we would Uber ourselves to whichever park we needed to go to, minus Disney because we stayed on Disney property this time, and Ubered ourselves to wherever we needed to go. And I have to say, speaking of that, Ubering at Universal, so freaking simple. Like,
they've made it really easy since the last time we did it.
It was so easy to do it. The last time we did it, it was a disaster.
So I think we just went to City Walk or something like that.
So that was our third time going then.
Well, City Walk doesn't count. That's like going to downtown Disney.
We went on a grad night again. And
we have this perfect luck of doing grad nights.
Spring is going to be grad night at Universal. And we went, and everyone was coming in for grad night. We stopped in at all the restaurants as everyone was trying to leave and stop at the restaurants beforehand. And so that was a real cluster of just too many people, not enough seats, everyone who's done at the park, like, over it because they've been at the park all day, and then people who are coming in that are literally high school seniors that don't give two bothers about anything else in the world other than themselves and whatever's going on in their group, which was a little bit frustrating, but we made it through.
Did you find it weird, all the people dressed up like they were going to prom?
Yes.
I thought it was both weird and entertaining at the both side.
That's a thing. And
that must be a thing.
And I read some things about it, but I wasn't like fully paying attention to it, and I was like, oh, they went here after prom, or they did this before prom, or something to that extent, where I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, being from Alaska, yeah, sure, let's go to Universal before we go to prom.
That's gonna be a long trip back and forth.
Nope. It's not really an option for us. But I mean, if there would have been like a carnival or something beforehand, that would have been cool. I totally would have dressed up, full on grease, like
I don't know about that.
their end of school carnival at the end of that movie. Not really. We're old.
Well,
Not really. Anyways, but yeah, so that's kind of our quick wrap up of what that was, and then we're looking forward to the treasure trip that we have coming up pretty soon.
treasure!
So excited.
Look for more postings on that. We are
So
going to be
many more
posting
things.
everything. If you have questions
Again,
on that,
yeah, if you have questions or something you want more information on that you've seen some videos on that you're like, hey, please go look at this and tell me more. Happy to do it. I will 100% be your guinea pig in that regards. We got the rainforest pass for the 7 days we're on the ship because
it's interesting because we've never done on the Wish. We've done the Wish what 4 times now.
yeah,
We've never done the spa.
no,
We've
that's-
done massages, but we've never done the rainforest.
we've never done the rainforest. We didn't do it on the Wish.
We've done it on the Fantasy. We've done it on the Dream.
Yeah.
We've even done it on the
Virgin and Norwegian, and it was
yeah.
fantastic, and Canard. It's
But-
kind of we're gonna hit all of them up on all of our cruise ships because you gotta know what's good and what's not. If it's worth the money, if it's not worth the money, and again, happy to be the guinea pig in that regards. So looking forward to 7 days, heading on the Western Caribbean itinerary this time. So hitting up Cozumel, Uzumaya, Jamaica, and then Costa Rica.
What?
I think we're going to Grand Cayman too. Yeah, we're going to Grand Cayman as well. So
I think we're going to try to do a live session on that cruise. You don't know that yet, but we're going to try it.
fun fact, everyone.
We're going to try. We'll see what happens.
Test out the internet.
Well, the internet's amazing.
So they say.
We've used it. It's great on the Wish. It's the
Yeah.
same internet.
We hope. We'll see.
We'll see.
Anyways, we're getting our costumes and our dinner attire and everything ready for that. We happen to be sailing during a Star Wars Day at Sea.
It's not a Star Wars Day at sea. It's not a Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
It's May 4th.
But we're sailing during Star Wars Day.
So we're hoping, fingers crossed, they do some kind of extra thing. It is a sea day as well.
It is a sea day, which is why I'm assuming it'll be a Star Wars Day at Sea.
They don't do Star Wars days at sea anymore. They do not.
They do.
They don't. We will see. This will be a debate. But I'm excited either way.
Either way, it's going to be a good time, and then we're going to do a few days in the park before and after. It's going to be a good time. It always is. And we're going with our besties and his older brother, and yeah, so we'll have some fun content, hopefully, for you guys. And again, please send us your ideas or questions that you have regarding that ship so we can make sure we address them while we're there. If not, we'll check in with everybody when we get back. Hope everyone's good.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Follow us now.